my mom was out of town for like a week, and so I was gonna make pop brownies. So all my friends gave me all their cash. So I had like $400, and I called Phil, my drug dealer. Phil, you know
yeah.
Phil,
Oh yeah,
crazy
yeah.
Phil. Phil is crazy, and he talks like this. He's like this white yo who thinks he's like a ninja and a rapper. And
He's one of the funniest characters.
Yeah,
you could
he's
ever,
insane. He's insane.
Not intentionally. Like
No,
you
he
laugh
takes
at
himself
this guy.
very seriously. But he's like, he was a drug dealer, but he was also kind of like a rich kid. And he was like, he would always tell stories of like crazy drug deals he was doing. And it was like, I don't believe it, but okay. Anyway.
Can I say my favorite part about Phil real quick before
Yeah.
we go on? Which is, and these are all your stories, but like that he went to the doctor. And then
He got jumped in a drug deal, and they broke his face. That did happen.
They broke his face.
They broke his face.
And he's telling everybody afterwards, or he tells Zach afterwards, he's like, yo, the doctors, they looked at my x-rays and they said I had the facial features of a cat. They couldn't believe it. Like,
yeah, that's the line. He goes, yo, they looked at my x-rays, they couldn't believe it, yo. They couldn't believe it. They said I had the facial structure of a cat. And I'm just like, that. I don't even know what that means. Can I have my drugs?
Which I think about that monthly.
Yeah. My friend
giggle.
prank called him one time, and it turned into like World War III. Like I can't go into it. Anyway, so Phil comes over to my house. My mom's out of town. I'm home alone. Phil comes over to my house dressed in a silk kimono. Literally. Like that's all he's wearing. And like a straw, like rice patty hat. I was like, oh my God.
That's what?
Yeah. Like he's just a crazy person.
I remember the
dude.
rice patty hat. That's so like, so he's just like.
He thinks he's in Ninja Scroll. He thinks he's like in feudal Japan. It's crazy. But he comes over with this giant bag of weed. So I'm like, all right, man. Hey, thanks. So he comes in my kitchen and we're like spreading the weed out. I give him the fucking $400. And he's like, yo, I don't feel so good. I need to lay down. And I'm like, yeah, go in my mom's room. So I send him back into my mom's room. He's laying in my mom's bed. I have all the weed spread out on this cooking tray. It's like a ton. I turn the stove on. I go downstairs. I'm playing GoldenEye on Nintendo 64. I'm playing GoldenEye. And I'm just like fucking, not even thinking about Phil. Not thinking about anything. And then the door to the kitchen opens, and I hear my mom go, yoo-hoo! Like she's home early. Like she's not supposed to be home for 2 more days. She's surprising me. She's like, surprise! And I'm like,
I'm home from the church store.
Home from the church store. And I'm just like, fuck the weed. Like the weed is on the island in the kitchen. I go running upstairs, and I'm like, hey, how's everything? How's the thing? And she's like taking her earrings off and like doing the mom thing. She's standing right in front of this tray of $400 worth of weed. It's like right in front of her face. It was so gangster. I walked right up. I'm like talking to her. I'm like, cool. There's a box of like Rice Krispies cereal. I grabbed the tray right in front of her face. I'm asking her how everything was. And right in front of her, I just dumped the whole tray of pot into the cereal box. I'm like, I close the box, go put it in the pantry, close the door, and I like almost had a heart attack. I just like, she didn't even notice. I was
That's
so
a
fucking
good
like,
move.
yeah.
That's
and
great.
so she's like, so I'm like, and she can tell I'm acting weird, but she doesn't know like what's going on. And then she's like, well, I'm going to go like, get unpacked. And then she's like, goes into the back of the house, and I'm like, Phil! Like it dawns on me like, oh fuck, Phil's in her bed.
You're like my worst friend.
Yeah, like the last guy, the weird drug dealer that's too weird for me, is in my mom's bed, and he's wearing a silk kimono, dude.
Oh shit.
And so,
She's not gonna let me have friends anymore.
she opens the door, and like Phil is in her bed, and he like she's never met Phil. She doesn't know who this guy is. He sits up in her bed, and he's wearing fucking silk kimono. He goes, oh, hey, Mrs. Kreger, how's it going? And she's just like, what is happening, dude? He leaves. She's so weirded out. I don't say anything. Like that night after she goes to bed, I like get the cereal box and I like empty it and I like have to separate all the weed. Fucking 2 months later, we're on like some family trip or something like that, and she's like, Zach, can we take a walk? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, we're walking, and she's like, remember when I came home early and Phil was in my bed, and I'm like, yeah. She goes, it had very homosexual undertones. And I was just like, what? I was like, you think I'm fucking Phil in your bed? I was like, give me a fucking break, dude.
You're like, I'm insulted. I could pull someone
Like,
better.
yeah, I think I could do better than fucking Phil, Mom.
Oh my god.
My
That's
God,
incredible.
Dude. It was incredible.
Dude, that's the high watermark. It's over. Show's done.